Hey YouTube, Zelakala here. Yesterday I will have uploaded a PU battle. Today I'm going to go one tier higher and bring you an NU battle. Now you'll immediately be able to tell that this is not the NU team that I had been using and which I tend to use. The reason for that is I played this guy before with my RU team against his same team because he said it contained RUs, which it clearly doesn't basically. And it wasn't very enjoyable. I swept him, and neither of us enjoyed it. So I brought this NU team, which is a bit different to my RU team, and we had a much closer game. It was much more fun. I will say something. He does something which some people may consider not very sportsmanlike, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, and I'll explain why when we get to that point. So yeah, I'll just start the battle. So I'm challenged by Jay. That wasn't his Smogon name. I had his Smogon name in the title. I lead with Volbeat, which is my only Pokemon with Damp Rock. This is a rain team. He leads with his Skuntank predicting my Volbeat, and he taunts after I get the Prankster Rain Dance off. And then obviously I can't do anything because Volbeats, they never carry attacking moves, so he just pursues as I switch out. And I go into X, my choice banded Swift Swim Armaldo, and I just go for the safe Earthquake. He predicts that very nicely and goes into Bouncer, his Rotom Frost. Now I'm locked into Earthquake, so I switch into Rye, predicting the Electric type move, which he does go for. I'm not sure what I go for next. We'll see in a minute. Oh, obviously I go for Thunder because he's going to switch out, and nothing on his else on his team can take a +1 Thunder in the rain. So that's going to Oko his Rampardos easily. He then sends out Skuntank, and I go for another Thunder because basically I don't know. I ever forgot that they get Sucker Punch, or I thought it is an Absol. It probably won't Oko at max health, but it does Oko. So I just go into my Armaldo again. This time I go for the Stone Edge and miss, which kind of sucks, I guess, but it doesn't really matter too much in the long run. I then send out Cultist, my Parasect, predicting the Water type move. Um, pa Cultist because Parrot Sect, you know. I then just go for the Spore because that's the safest thing I can do, and I sleep as Rotom Frost, which is brilliant because that means my Raichu there's nothing which can warm my Raichu once I have Rain Up, which is what I'm about to do. So I switch back into Voodoo Child, my Volbeat, and go for the Rain Dance, obviously. Now this thing is just, oh yeah, it wakes up and goes for the Volt Switch, which I was actually kind of surprised this didn't just KO. Um, at the time I thought it was Scarfed because my Volbeat is max HP, max defense, I believe. But anyway, I Baton Pass the next turn as he goes into his Floatzel. He goes for the Waterfall again, which I predicted. He then switches. I'm really not sure what this Floatzel was. I think it might have been banded. So yeah. I then Spore his Skuntank, seeing as his Rotom Frost woke up, which is good again because this Skuntank is a bit of a threat. So I just Swords Dance while it's asleep this time, seeing as he's not switching out. And then I go for the X Scissor, and that will kill it off. So that means I have Spore free. Oh yeah, I take Aftermath damage as well, obviously. But that's really not a problem because I'm carrying Dry Skin, obviously, and it's raining, as well as Leftovers. So I'm almost back to full. He then goes into his Jumpluff. Now, what I'm scared of is Acrobatics, so I just go into X to try and take that. But he goes for the Sleep Powder. And just remember, Maldo is asleep now. Okay, remember that. So I switch out. I go into Voodoo Child, expecting Swords Dance, which is indeed what this Jumpluff goes for. Um, my Volbeat is like most Volbeat and carries Encore. And now this is going to be a bit boring because he just keeps going for Swords Dance. He doesn't bother switching out for some reason. The rain stops, so I set it up again. I don't want to Baton Pass now because it will be at +6, and yeah, that's just not going to be fun. So I just go for Tail Glow, and I believe its Encore will run out now. Maybe not. Yeah, yeah, it does. So I just go for Encore again, and then I go, and he has to Swords Dance again, obviously. And then I just go for Baton Pass as he switches into Rarity, MLP reference there. I kind of wanted to go into Articuno and sweep with that, but I realized that Rapidash will outspeed. So I go into my War Turtle. He does indeed outspeed. And he doesn't do very much with that Wild Charge. That makes me think he might be Scarfed, which kind of throws out my ideas of the Rotom Frost. But obviously, +3 stab in the rain Scold is going to kill that outright. So he then goes into Rotom Frost, and I was still thinking it was Scar for some reason, but it kills me straight off, and at that point I realised that it must be Specs because my War Turtle is max special defense, max HP. I then go into Cultist, realizing that it must be Specs and won't be able to do much, but it crits, so it does almost all of my health, which does suck. But I just go for Spore and put it to sleep again, because I killed is the last thing I put to sleep. He then switches out and goes into his Floatzel. I just go for the X Scissor. That does half, so I'm going to stay in um, because I might be able to kill it. I don't really need Parasect for anything. He goes for the Waterfall. I guess he must have been predicting my switch, or maybe he just forgot that that happened, or I don't know. But he goes for Waterfall, and it heals me, and now I'm almost back up to full again, which is nice. And then he goes into his Jumpluff, and I'm thinking, okay, that's fine. But he sleep powders. Now remember what else was asleep? Armaldo. Did Armaldo wake up? No. So he breaks the sleep clause, and that does kind of mean I win technically. Um, and I was gonna, question him about it, but then I looked at the chat and realized that he disconnected. Um, I'm not gonna hold it against him because I battled him before, and he seemed like a really nice guy. And yeah, so yeah, I send in my Volbeat in case he Swords Dances again, but he probably predicts that and he just goes for Acrobatics. I go into Articuno now because it has the Ice Beam and can probably take an unboosted Acrobatics or definitely a Seed Bomb. He goes into Rotom Frost, which I can't do much to, so I just go for the Hurricane, trying to do as much damage as possible. Luckily, it hits. It doesn't confuse though, but it does a lot of damage to that. He Volt switches. I guess he probably thought it would kill because of it being Specs, which I do now know. But oh lol 69 by the way. But Articuno has amazing special bulk um, naturally. So I just go for the Ice Beam because I figured that would kill it off and also do a lot of damage to Jumpluff. So yeah, and now I'm on very low HP. So he can just come in and revenge me with whatever he wants. He picks Blizzard, and I was like, right, okay, because my last two Pokemon are both asleep, but Blizzard isn't 100% hit. It's 70%, I believe. So he goes for Blizzard on Parasect. I basically just sent Parasect in to be like, look, you put two of my Pokemon to sleep because I couldn't tell him because he disconnected from the chat earlier. So Parasect dies obviously because it's super effective. And then Armaldo comes in, and the first Blizzard hits, and it almost kills me. I live with, 57 HP, and I'm still asleep, obviously. But then his Blizzard misses, and I'm like, yes, justice. And I wake up, even more justice, and I kill him with a superpower. So that's a good game of PK Let's Play. I find that really hard to say for some reason. Um, it was a good game, especially compared to the previous one. If you ever find this and decide to watch this, I'm not gonna hold breaking the sleep clause against you because you were all disconnecting against you because you seem like a really nice person. I had a really good conversation with you in our first battle and for the start of our second one, and yeah, I'm just going to put down the sleep clause to maybe you forgot or it was a mistake. Obviously, you disconnected for whatever reason. I can't just say you did that on purpose or anything because I don't know. So, yeah, it was still a good game despite everything. So I'm not gonna, as I say, I'm not gonna hold it against you. But yeah, to everyone else, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like or subscribe to me if you enjoyed this. Leave a dislike if you didn't. Comment on anything you feel like really. Again, thank you very much for watching, and see you later.